Annyeong! It's K-Wave with Hongbin on Money FM 89.3. Welcome to K-Wave. I'm Hongbin Jeong, you're a South Korean living right here in Singapore, bringing you all you have to know about the Korean wave, better known as the Hallyu fever. Now, it's K-Influencer today, and I have a question for all of you. Are any of you planning to go to Korea anytime soon? If you are, how many days are you planning to stay? Well, today's guest stayed in Korea for 52 days. You heard that right. 52 days. And she's vlogged her journey on TikTok. And you may have seen her on your For You page telling you how she spent each day in Seoul. And you may know her as at Mischief Magic, which is mischief with a Z and magic with a double K. So joining us today is Leah, who is a content creator, to share more about her time in Korea. Thanks, Leah, for joining me today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Leah, I just want to start off by having an introduction about yourself.
I think you covered it pretty much at the start, but yes, I am a content creator. I've been in the industry for about 7 years now. Yeah, and I do content on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I used to work in a digital media company and I used to appear and do hosting on YouTube. But now I'm by myself, so I'm just doing my own kind of content.
Okay, so I want to dive in deeper because this is a Korean content podcast. What inspired you to spend 52 days in Korea? Why Korea?
Okay, I mean, first of all, I do like K-pop. I've always liked Korean culture, but I never really had an opportunity to go overseas for an extended period of time when I started working. So back then, I studied in university. I did a summer exchange in Korea, and I really had a fun time. It was like a month long. And then I decided I wanted to do a little bit of like a sabbatical during my work, but I didn't get a chance to. So I quit my job. And then, so I quit my job and I was like, okay, what do I do with all this time I have now? And I was like, okay, let's just book an impromptu 2-month-ish trip to Korea, and I booked it like 3 weeks before I flew. I just like booked everything, and I was like, okay, I'm going now.
So it was a treat for yourself after quitting your job.
Kind of, yeah.
So why so long?
I think I really enjoyed the 1 month that I spent when I was studying overseas during school. So I thought, why not go a little bit longer? I always wanted to stay overseas for a long period of time, and I think living alone overseas is a completely different experience.
Okay.
So I wanted to try that for myself.
Okay, so you vlogged most of your days that you spent in Korea.
Yes, I
especially on TikTok. I've seen your playlist. There's one about Korea vlog, and there's another that says 52 days in Korea.
Yes.
So what inspired you to share that kind of content to your followers?
I guess because TikTok is a growing platform, and I think when I quit my job, TikTok was meant to be my new form of like work in a sense. And I used to already do like YouTube content. So actually, I went to Korea specifically to do my YouTube vlogs.
Okay.
Yeah, and then alongside, because TikTok is relatively easier to edit, so I did that more on the daily. So that's what made me want to do it. And also because I was trying to grow my audience and like, talk to new people and stuff. And people resonate with a lot of Korean content and Korean culture. And people know me for it because they know I like K-pop and stuff. So I just wanted to build on that. And I think it's also interesting from my perspective to watch someone live overseas in another country that they are not super familiar with and show their day-to-day kind of life, like day in my life kind of situation. And I wanted to do the same. So
I see. I mean, I've watched some of those videos and I've had my For You page flooded with your content as well. So I've been following you for quite a bit, but I'm sure you've gotten a lot of comments or questions, about your stay in Korea. What was the number one question you've gotten?
Honestly, the number one question I got was, where did you stay for 2 months? Because people have trouble trying to find like a location, right?
Yes, I want to know as well. Where did you stay?
I Googled a lot of places, and what came up was like a student accommodation of sorts that let you stay for an extended period of time. But it's like minimum 1 month stay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like the cheapest option because I know that if you stay like long term, like 6 months, you can get like really cheaper options. But because I was only staying for about 2 months, I think this was the best thing that I could find. It's called encore stay.
Okay.
Yeah, and specifically I think for like international students or people who are not from Korea who want to like live in an apartment.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of people, especially let's say exchange students, if they don't want to stay in dorms,
Yeah.
but they can't really stay in, if they're on a summer program especially, they
Yeah.
cannot really stay at an Airbnb. It's
Yeah,
too expensive.
it's really
And if you
expensive.
want to rent,
Yeah.
that's like a minimum, 6 months is
Yeah.
like not as easy to come by. So thank you for that advice.
No
But,
worries.
other than that, can you share with us some of your, favorite memories or experiences during your time in Korea?
I think one of the few experiences that I really enjoyed was since I like K-pop, I managed to go to like a lot of concerts when I was there. Not just K-pop concerts, like K-hip hop concerts. There's also sometimes they have like random events happening and then
Yeah.
you just show up and there's like an artist there, for example. Just music in general. I love music. So just being able to experience how different the concert culture is in Korea versus like in Singapore, it was like really, really exciting and really fun for me because to be able to do it like consistently is something. It's not like just going for one concert and then you go home, it's you live there and you kind of experience it there. And I made a lot of friends through that as well who live in Korea now. And I also think like just there's a lot of things to do in Korea. I feel like I think Singapore too, but the things over there, like shopping, is so much better. I love shopping in Korea. I love shopping, and I always give recommendations to people on where to buy stuff. And I guess one memorable experience that I had when I was there is I actually met K-pop idol backstage at his concert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I didn't post it anywhere, so this is the first time I ever telling it.
Oh, thank you for
live.
this exclusive. Okay.
Because I didn't want to post it online because I was like, I don't know if people are going to be like, oh, how did you do that? But this happened like really long ago, so I thought, why not share it? And my friend knew his manager, and my
Okay.
friend is staying in Korea. And she got me tickets because I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'd love to go see him live. And then her friend was like, do you want to come say hi? And I was like, I guess, sure. And he's JB from GOT7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I wish I was in your shoes.
Yeah, I was so shocked. I was like, we're going to say hi now, like right now, after the concert. Yeah, so it's really exciting.
It looks like just those 52 days you were able to experience so many things, especially meeting a K-pop star yourself.
Yeah, and I also met another K-pop star who is my favorite K-pop star in a mall. But yeah, I posted a video about it. It was so funny because I just happened to be shopping and then she walked up to the same shop as me and I was like, oh, is this Cheong? I was like, wait, what? And I said hi to her and we talked a little bit and then I ran away because I was like having a whole fangirl moment.
I mean, I think that I feel like for me, I was in Korea for university and I don't think I met as many celebrities as you did in those 52 days. I think maybe I saw one.
Oh, who did you
But-
see?
Oh my God. What is his name?
Oh,
he
no.
was a ballad singer.
Ah, okay. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was really hard. I mean, it is hard to come by, even for people living in South Korea to meet celebrities. But for you, it was so easy for those. I mean, I guess it was meant to be.
It was. And it's the fact that I met Chaeyoung of all people who I really like the most out of every other K-pop idol. So that was like, wow, that was surprising for me. Yeah. I was just like, I don't believe this is happening. I texted my sister. I was like, you will not believe who I just met today.
So I feel like people listening to you might want to start, going to Korea for an extended stay, maybe 52 days,
Maybe.
just like you, just so that they can see or hope to see a celebrity or their favorite celebrity. So how did you plan your itinerary for such an extended stay? Was it just, I'm going to book my tickets, I'm going to go and see how it goes? Or did you plan out something beforehand?
Pretty much the former, which is I just booked my tickets and I was like, you know what? I'll go there and figure it out because I'm kind of familiar with Seoul specifically. I've been there quite a few times before I went on this trip. So I knew certain places to go already. So that was fine. But maybe for the extended period, I didn't really know what to do every single day. So I would search like at the start of the week and maybe bookmark some events that were happening. And I would go through it day by day, I would say, rather than like plan in advance. And a lot of my trips, I did do like a bit of a day trip out to like other parts of Korea, but they were all very impromptu as well.
Okay. So were there any, unexpected challenges that you faced during your stay?
I made a YouTube video about this at the start, and I was sharing about how I was so anxious like the first day that I landed, because I did know a few people in Korea, but so for context, my dad's colleague in the Korea office, I'm friends with her, and she came to pick me up from the station. She brought me to my accommodation. She was like, okay, you're good, everything, and then she left, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? I'm literally alone in my apartment, and I was like so anxious for the first day. Like when I left, I just went out to get food, and I went back to my room, and I was like, I don't know what to do. So that at the start was a bit of a struggle, because I was just felt very unfamiliar to me. It was a bit foreign. But luckily for me, I had a friend who happened to plan a trip for about 3 weeks too, and it overlapped with my trip. And honestly, we weren't even like really close friends. But then she was like, "Do you want to eat? Because like we are here." And I was like, "Sure." And then we hung out like almost every other day after that, and we became very good friends. So she kind of helped me to adapt a little bit more to the environment, because she speaks Korean really well.
Oh, I see. Do you speak any Korean?
Like chogum, like really little. Yeah, but I'm taking Korean classes, so yeah, I'm trying to improve so I can have some conversation.
Did this trip inspire you to take Korean classes, or was that on your bucket list?
I did take it during university already, so I did like level 1, like 1001 kind of classes. So I have the bare minimum understanding when I went. I just didn't have time to continue after. But after the trip, I was like, yeah, I think I should go and get an online class and like do something about it, because I can't have conversations with people. So
was language, the language barrier, cause of any problems during your stay?
I would say that I could speak enough to get by. Like just if I'm just ordering something or whatever, it's pretty straightforward. But with my friends, wanted to make friends in Korea. Like Korean people, like they had to speak English to me, and their English was really good and we could have like a conversation. But I wish I could have spoken back to them in Korean. But they always say that like when I speak a little bit, they're like, "Wow, you're so good." I'm like, "Sorry, guys, no, it's really not good."
Maybe I'll talk to you in Korean after this interview.
Sure.
You did mention that you did explore other cities outside Seoul. So, where did you go?
So I went to Busan and I went to Suwon. So Suwon, both of which I went because for Busan, my dad's colleague, she drove us over. So I did a little road trip. It was so fun. And she was doing a little work thing over there. I just went there and had fun. I've been to Busan before. So it's just to like relax. And then for Suwon, I went because my friend stays in Suwon. So I went there to see, and I actually was really interested because they had the set for trending K-drama back then, which is Extraordinary Woo, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had the whole gimbap store like set up, like it was an actual shop.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Oh, we can go and check it out." So I took a bunch of pictures there. So it was quite fun, like just to see the little landmarks. Yeah.
I see. Well, during your visit also, were there any particular cultural experiences in Korea that you found particularly memorable? I mean, could you share any cultural differences that you've experienced as well?
I think in Korea, most people are relatively neutral with maybe let's say foreigners, for example. I think they're used to people traveling to the country. But I would say that only certain areas maybe in Korea that are more friendly towards foreigners. Like some other areas where it's mostly like a local hangout, they may not be as, maybe not friendly, but it's a bit difficult to communicate sometimes. So I guess that's a bit of a cultural barrier. And also maybe because I have tattoos, and in Korea, I would assume it's a bit more of a conservative kind of environment, and they tend to be like, oh, like either surprised or they will look really long at my tattoos. But I'm used to it; it's fine because in Singapore I get it too. Yeah. So, but I have had people talk about it in Korean before, assuming that I don't understand. But I could pick up on it because my friend was with me and she could translate. She's like, "Oh, they're just talking about your tattoos." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, okay." But it was not a bad thing. It's just like they're surprised to see it. Yeah. But most of the time, I didn't really have any issues traveling around. And I guess cultural experiences, I would say that it's quite similar to Singapore in terms of the lifestyle, but just like little nuances about when I go for concerts, for example, the way that people behave in Korea is a lot different from where people behave in like Southeast Asia, for example. In Korea, they're really so strict and they really follow everything to the T.
Singapore's strict as well.
True. I think so too. But I think in Singapore, people can get a little crazy over like maybe not even K-pop artists, like celebrities in general when they come in for concerts. So it can get a little like chaotic. But in Korea, everybody's is like super like organized. They don't get up from their seats. They are so like rule abiding. I was like, damn, okay. Yeah, so that was just interesting to see.
I see. Well, I mean, 52 days in Korea, you must have missed, home.
Yeah.
Because you're away from home for so long. So what did you miss the most about Singapore during your stay?
I feel I miss my friends and my family the most. Specifically, Singapore. Did I miss anything? I don't know. I felt I missed some things about Singapore, but mainly to do with my friends, like hanging out with my friends, seeing my friends. But because I think like 52 days wasn't too long for me, so I enjoyed it really to the fullest. I didn't really think too much about like wanting to travel back. I think if you told me like 1 year, if I was there, maybe I would have a different story to say.
So on that note, I have a question for you. Would
Sure.
you do this trip 52 days or longer, maybe shorter, again to Korea?
Yeah, for sure. I actually wanted to do it last year, but I got so busy, I didn't have time. So maybe in the works for this year, maybe in the
How
same
long?
period. I don't know,
Longer?
because in maybe a bit longer, I don't know.
Ooh.
I think it depends, because if now I have a lot more work in Singapore, it's a bit difficult to travel for extended periods of time. Since back then I just quit my job, it's more free. Yeah, but I would say that if I could, I would go for like a 3 months kind of situation, because I know they have like language programs over there that you can do like 3 months, 6 months, and like 1 year. So I actually wanted to try that. So maybe in the future, I don't know.
So what do you miss about Korea the most right now?
Honestly, the weather right now. Like Singapore is so hot recently. I think the weather is great there. I miss the shopping a lot, because when I go to Korea, usually I stock up on everything that I want to buy, and I don't really shop that much in Singapore. So I get a lot of like the local brands over there that I've followed for a really long time. I get all the stuff and I bring it back to Singapore. I also enjoy that it's really convenient to find aesthetic cafes, and like this is something most people say about Korea. Like there's so many cafes, every corner you turn there's a cafe.
Instagrammable cafes.
No, and they make it thing over there. They deliberately make all their cafes look really nice, so that you honestly any corner you turn you see something that you can go into. So I guess it's a convenience of that being accessible like so easily. And yeah, I miss sitting by the Han River. It's really nice when it's cold, not when it's when it's cold.
And then you need a pack of hot ramen next to you, or chicken, fried chicken.
For sure.
I miss those times as well. But just to end off our interview here, Leah, what tips do you have for fellow travelers looking to spend an extended period in Korea?
I think this is actually another one of the questions that a lot of people ask me as well. So many people DM me and they said like, oh, I saw your videos, I'm really inspired to go. And a lot of people told me that they booked a trip because they saw my videos. Yeah, like so many people DM me and told me that you made me want to book a trip, so I did it. And I told them, they always ask me, is it safe? Especially for a female going there solo. And I said that yes, to me, for Korea, I think it's relatively safe. Just, the usual things, don't go out too late, don't follow strange people home, like in Singapore, it's the same. Yeah. And I think the advice that I would give them is to just enjoy being there. Like, don't overwhelm your schedule with like, oh, I want to go here, everywhere. Because then you feel like you're checking off things in a box and you don't actually experience just living there. My advice is always to just take it day by day and really enjoy living there and being there, rather than focusing too much on checking off your bucket list of things to do, I guess. Nice. Yeah, and also manage your budget, because it's really easy to spend a lot of money in Korea.
Were you able to manage your budget?
I would say I'm within the budget. Maybe over a little bit, but I kept it within what I expected it to be. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
No problem. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you. If you want to check out Leah, she is at Mischief Magic on TikTok. That is Mischief with a Z and Magic with double K on TikTok. And on Instagram, you can check her out at Mischief Magic as well, but there is just 1K on Instagram. I'm Hongbin Jeong, and this has been K-Influencers on K-Wave right here on Money FM 89.3.
Money FM 89.3.